A Man of Manetheren is part of a lot of pipe and tobacco communities that are out there. And you actually, we had talked backstage a couple of weeks ago about, much like with Keri Smith, who from Unsafe Space talked about how the knitting communities were infiltrated with SJWs. The pipe and tobacco communities are infiltrated with SJWs. That's, I mean, I'm not making this up, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it's not quite as aggressive. For the most part, we kind of self-govern a little bit, so it peaks in there real quick, and then it cuts back. But there are just moments when it starts going like that. I'm just kind of like, I'm going to separate it for a few weeks.
Gatekeep that good Shire long bottom leaf. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm a part of a few different statue forums that I always look into to see what the next statue pre-order is, or if there are any custom statues that are coming out by, you know, kind of niche companies, and they'll limit their size of production to maybe like anywhere from 10 to 50 statues in the entire world, and they're like these little forums that you can buy from. But on one of them, there's a new statue coming out of Mrs. Fantastic, I guess, if you will.
Whoa.
And she is gorgeous. And what she's doing is she's taking her suit off, the Fantastic Four suit off, and she's turning invisible at the same time. And while it's doing that, it's kind of showing her, you know, goods, if you will. The comments were just, this is disgusting. How could they make this? I hope this could. And I'm like, bro, it is it's a piece of art. You know, it's artwork. This is a statue. Like, it's nothing. They're not trying to make a political statement here. They're just trying to make something beautiful, and it displays her powers. You know, great,
dude.
Dude,
dude. Send me the link to that later.
Yeah.
But this is fascinating. This is again from our resident lore expert for everything under the sun. Jim Lee drew two famous or infamous posters of Psylocke in a bikini back in the 90s. He was called a misogynist for the depiction. In his response, quote, "I drew Psylocke to look exactly like my wife."
I think there were four, maybe a couple more issues. You guys can correct me in chat, but there were a couple of issues that were like swimsuit issues of Marvel, and they were magazine size, so it wasn't like the normal comic book size. And you would just flip through them, and you'd get Captain America in, like, you know, Star Spangled Banner tights, tidy, you know, or a Speedo or something at the beach, and then you'd get, like you said, Rogue or Psylocke, or, you know, these other characters that were in their bikinis. And it was just a fun way for artists to, because each character had a different artist associated with it, and they all had their renditions, and it was really cool to have these magazines. But yeah, that would I don't think that would ever be made today, unfortunately.
And it's crazy. I've said this in many other shows, and I said this 30 years ago when I went to school with these knuckleheads that are the professors now. And it's like, you know, you're fighting these imaginary dragons, and therefore you never actually have to do any work, you know? Yeah. And it's like, why don't you just go down to the animal shelter, go volunteer, you know, go read books to people in senior centers. You want to change the world? That's how you change the world. You don't change the world by telling everybody that they're sexist, racist, misogynist, xenophobic, transphobic. That doesn't do anything. So.
Salty, listen. What do you have to do first before you can do any of the things you just suggested? What's the first thing you'd have to do?
Get a job?
Go outside.
Oh, you have to go outside. It's true.
Yeah.
You have to interact with people and actually see for yourself what the world, you know, what cultures are like, you know, because even if they do go outside, they're still probably in their bubble, you know, to go to different states, different countries, different anything. They will find just how different this world really is and how diverse it really can be in thought, in, you know, religion and culture and anything.
Part of your having your idea challenged is being able to evolve your thesis or your thoughts, and that's part of life, being challenged. And apparently now being challenged, hearing a contrary opinion, is just not acceptable. Has ever. This is Salty Texas C. I am Corey DB. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you've seen and heard, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you on board. That way you know, and we have things like live streams, which we are now going to be doing every Tuesday evening. Take care. I hope you're having a great 2022.